stuff up there.
Yeah, now I know.
And yeah, it was.
I don't want to. I'll get it.
Depending on the threat level and everything else.
It's 5:31.
We don't have one. We have a quorum.
We lost the recorder. One person down. Somebody want to call Tom?
Do I have enough bandwidth? I should have enough. You know what?
They decide to pull.
Does anyone have a charger for a phone?
Yep, I got about 6%.
I have 77.
Do you have his number?
Yeah.
You got his number, I can call him.
Okay.
You gonna leave your phone on the whole time?
Yeah, you have to leave your phone up here next to
Yeah, you
the.
won't be able to leave that.
Like I'm here for the duration.
All right, I just called him, so here's his number. No. Okay, 304 676.
Can we stand for the pledge of allegiance, please? I pledge allegiance to the flag
of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
We have a moment of silence prayer. Amen.
Tom, you there? All right, call it in for the town hall.
All right, Tom, can I have the roll call, please?
All right, Scott Markey,
Here.
Susan Webster is here, Elizabeth Skinner. Here. Mary Lynn Hickey. Here. Rebecca McLeod.
Here.
Greg Sheen
Here.
and Tom Hall.
Here.
There you go.
Right. Can I have a review of the minutes from the council meeting of March 5th, 2024? I'll take any additions or corrections on that with common consent. Are you okay?
Yes.
All right. Common consent? All right. We have some people before council, so let's bring Luke and his partner, Wes. You can go ahead and address the council if you would. You've got the floor.
Okay, yeah, Luke Wishmeyer, West Keys, we're both builders, investors. We bought 377 Wilk Street down here, and it's a big lot. And I was looking at it and just wondered if we're proposing a 10-unit apartment building. You know, because there's not a whole lot of answers I'm getting through down here, so I've just kind of pieced everything together through all the jurisdictions we work with and the state codes and stuff. So we have setbacks, we have the plans, we have, you know, it'll fit. So just wanted to. There will be some parking. There'll be 4 or 5 along the street, and then around back through the alley, there'll be another 7 or 8 spots back there.
Now, let me get straight. This is the building,
Old Snowball's property.
Snowball property, gotcha. Okay.
Yeah,
All
yeah.
right.
86 feet wide. We were gonna do 60-foot wide. So you got plenty of setbacks, you know, on the sides
We
there.
would be removing.
Yeah, we'll demo that building.
Property.
Obviously,
It's
you know.
unusable.
Now, Luke, where are you gonna put your
The one
dumpsters
above.
when you start that demo work?
I mean, we was hoping on the street. If not, we can put it out back, you know, on the alley side there.
That would probably be best because parking's very tight up there.
Sure.
We got dumpsters on the side, you know, 1 or 2 or how many ever you all are planning. It's kind of tight to get through there as it is.
Sure. Yeah, I mean, demo would only be 2 or 3 big days, right?
Right.
Just running dumpsters in and out of there. Then we would have one on site, you know, while we're building, and that can go out back. You can go out back. Yeah.
Dumpster would be no wider than the cars parked there.
Right, sure.
Now.
So
Just now.
this is apartments?
Yes, we have a 10-unit apartment building
What's
designed.
the
Yeah,
configuration? 1 bedrooms, 2 bedrooms, combo?
it's
One bedroom.
It's 8 1-bedrooms and 2 2-bedrooms in the basement. You know, for egress situations.
Okay.
And then where will the trash go?
Proposed
after,
laundry.
when it's occupied on the street?
We'll have to pick it up.
Yeah, but I mean, will it just go out in bags on the street?
you get some, those.
We could work with like the bigger.
Yeah, the apartment house up here on North Green, they've got, it looks like they have in the back, they have the big like trash receptacles.
Yeah,
like a 3-yarder or something.
Yeah, almost like what you'd see at like a 7-Eleven or something like that.
No, they
where-
can, yeah, they can get a 2-yard, they can
Can they
use
get
a
back
2-yard.
there
Is
though?
what
Whether they can
trash
get back
service
there, that
is
might
it?
be big.
Now.
They have a municipal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Will you
So-
be improving the driveway back to it, the roadway? right
Improving
away?
as far, I mean, obviously having gravel and making it nice. Widening, I mean, that
How
would,
wide is it?
That we would
It's a
have-
lane back
it's-
there, I mean.
It seems to be
Well,
one lane right
Is
now.
there
Right.
gonna be turnaround back there?
there'll be,
Once you got to the
So a
behind the
garbage
building.
truck could turn
you could
around
definitely
back
pull in and we can have the safe space for that, in the back, and then they
Yeah, I
have a
just
spot
wanna
to
make
back
sure.
around, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I get it, yeah, it's
Yeah,
new to us too,
The
so.
property goes up the hill more than far enough that we'd have to cut into it, do a retaining wall back there too.
You know that alley is not a public alley. That's not a town alley.
Yeah.
There's storage units back there and all kinds of stuff now that people are.
Yeah, I imagine as it looked
That
like
was
it was
private.
probably probably a proposed road before, or back in the day, right? And then lots above it now,
No, it's privately owned,
by all the homeowners?
yes.
Okay. And is there some
They
kind of
have
road
an
agreement or something?
They do.
Okay.
I believe I sent you that paperwork that,
Yeah.
so you may want to look at that. There is I don't know if you call it a cooperative or something among the property owners back there. They're all, if you.
I remember when the storage units were made. and they
That was
had to.
91
Yeah.
and,
Yeah, because I think there's only 3 people there, right? And then you have what we own, and then you have the guy beside us, and the improvement. Well, there's no, it's all dirt from where we were at and the other guy. Obviously we would
I
clean all
just
that
don't
up.
want you to get confused and believe that's a town alley that you automatically have a right to use. And I'm not discouraging anything, I'm just telling you
Sure,
that is privately owned and those people have a development agreement.
sure.
They have so that the property that you bought, to my understanding, is not a member of. So, you
Well,
may,
the guy beside us uses it, so that means he's crossing our property without permission.
Yeah, we would just
on
have.
the other side,
Yeah, so you have the storage units
Mike
here.
and Misty. Yeah.
Yeah, they use it, right? So if our lot's not, I mean, they're using it illegally. And again, no, I'm glad we're
I
here
mean,
because
it
again,
would-
we can't get answers. and
It would just be
this helps
something
us
we would
out,
have to
you know?
discuss with the
Right.
other homeowners.
Yeah.
The other thing is I'm gonna have to figure it out and get a trash truck up in there. 'Cause,
Yeah, they
I'm
put
not
them up
sure
there.
if the trees are, right there where you come up and make that turn, they're gonna have to back all the way down, or they're gonna have
Or
some way to weasel around once they get in there. So I'm gonna have to figure whether that area is big enough to even pull a trash truck on there.
there's also, I mean, we can incorporate, it doesn't have to be all off-street or on-street parking at the front. Like that house sets back enough that it could be to where you
Maybe
pull
recess
Yeah, we could
in.
do
it
something
in.
in there and
Maybe you
yeah.
could recess it in somewhere,
Yeah.
maybe kind of put it on an angle so that they could back up to it,
Right.
instead of having it straight on the street, because cars parking there is gonna be crazy.
Sure, and then you just
So,
paint some
yeah,
white lines on that
Be-
in front of
we
it or
could-
something.
I think if you put a dumpster, or, not a dumpster, but, a 2-yarder or whatever,
Otherwise, a lot.
where they could
83 or
They
86.
hook it up to the truck and dump it
Yeah,
in, like
it's-
what we have at 7-Eleven and all that.
Yeah, I mean,
So-
the lot's 6 feet wide. I mean, there's no reason that you
Right.
couldn't come 55, 60 feet, leave setback on each side and create 5 or 6 parking spaces on the front and
I'm
then,
talking about trash too.
well, no,
If
I'm
we-
saying, and then a
Yeah.
15-foot wide area for a
Absolutely, yeah.
dumpster that,
Absolutely,
can be.
absolutely.
because there's
'cause
more
that's
than enough
tight up on
setback
there.
front wise there.
So,
because I
mhm.
think
Yeah,
there's
that's-
30
that's-
feet from the road.
It's real tight up along there, so,
What I can do is send, this is a situation with that alley that did go to court, and it was 1990, 1991, something like
Yeah.
that. Maybe I can send that, what is recorded in the courthouse on it, because apparently you haven't seen it, or And I'll send it to town hall and I could send it out to you. or
Yeah, and quite
something.
honestly, that should have been brought up in our closing, right? So, you know, that, anything like that should have been brought up in closing.
Right.
Pill and Pill closed it and it wasn't brought up, so.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay.
Well,
Yeah, but it would be an easy discussion
Yeah.
to try to
Was-
even if we paid for it to create an easement through there.
Was there a discussion about making, no, that's the other development. I was thinking about the side street, making it one way.
I mean, the only other thing you could do is if you can't get an agreement with them, you'd have to maybe back up the apartment building back closer to the, you know,
Right.
where
the
that
hillside
is, and then
there.
have
Cut stuff in that.
cut in stuff.
Cut in
front,
to the
front
front.
ways, but that's still gonna be, that's gonna put a lot of traffic on that little road, so we gotta be careful, so.
But either way, even at 80 some foot, I mean, you could create 7 spots there and still have a dumpster.
Luke, when do you intend on getting started?
Well, that's why we're here, right? I don't, I really don't want to tear the building down until we start digging, and we'll dig the footers the next day.
Got it.
No reason to bring equipment in and then bring it back in, right? So when we tear the building down, we'll dig footers and start rolling, you
Will
know?
there be a basement?
It's not I mean, it'll
An
be,
English basement?
There's
it's ground level.
There's a level that's underground in the back because it goes up the hillside, but then that ground level walks out the
Gotcha.
front. But it's not street level there.
Yeah,
It's,
you're gonna
it's
have,
up.
the back's gonna be solid up against, and then as you come out, it's gonna
Yeah.
gradually.
Yeah.
So the building from the front will look as if it's 3 levels.
Right.
The back would
Right.
look as if it's
Two
2.
levels. Right.
So there's only 1 flight of steps for the highest level because they would come off the back. So it makes it accessible as well.
That's one of the advantages of being in West Virginia. Everything's terraced, you know, so
Yeah.
everything is eventually.
I would check on that road back there, definitely 100%, so we'll get.
Yeah, if you can give me what you got on it, yeah, and then we can
Right.
figure that out.
Yeah.
Or
And then-
go over to the courthouse, because the records will be there for whoever owns those plots.
Well, but I think she said she already sent it
Yeah.
to someone, right? So a
Yeah.
quick email. I don't get the Berkeley's too often, so.
Oh, okay.
So if we have an email, that'd be wonderful, yeah.
Downspouts?
Uh,
Downspouts?
Like gutters?
Yeah, where they outletting.
Well, I mean, we'd have to work with the flow and then I'd have to see what type of drainage that you're working with at the
Yeah,
Yeah,
street
right
now.
we
Because,
just basically have the street up there.
yeah,
I mean, when that rains, I mean, it's
It can really.
it's
flow.
bad. It's,
Where do the rest of them come out of?
I don't
Right.
know.
I mean,
on the
everything's
roadway.
gonna come down to
Yeah,
the
it comes right out
street
on
now.
the
I mean,
roadway.
everything would be buried and then basically
And
to the
sometimes
sidewalk,
there's
I mean, we could
It's wet.
try to figure something out, but no matter where we put it,
It's gonna
it's
come
gonna,
the
it's gonna
roadway.
end up
Yeah.
there. no
And
matter
honestly,
what.
we're not really making it much bigger than it is now.
Yeah, I mean,
We're only going about 5 or 6 feet.
I'm grateful that you're clearing
And
up the.
And then just a
Yeah.
couple more behind, like the footprint of the building really doesn't change much. We're just going out enough to get new solid dirt for new footers. That's really it. Because it's a large building up there
But-
already. So we're not changing much of the
It'll-
footprint.
Complete demolition of what's there?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, there-
Yeah,
there's-
that's been a cat house.
Yeah, oh, yeah, 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 do all that.
Yeah.
And honestly,
Unfortunately, there's
Yeah.
nothing workable.
And we're gonna need a 6 or 8 inch sewer line going, you know what I mean? That we're gonna have to replace that. We'll probably need an 1.5 inch water coming up. I mean, we'll have to, do all that stuff, so.
I mean,
You're aware that you're gonna have to patch that street and, everything
Yeah.
since we just got it paved, so,
Yeah.
it's gonna have to, it's gonna have to be good and done.
When we leave
well,
it.
Because that street's been,
It's dear to my heart.
Hey, we'll lay rubber mats down for a while, right?
Yeah.
well,
All
and,
concrete
Well, she's
underneath.
saying if you're cutting-
coming across the street and hooking into the sewer, and the sewer's in the front, and the water's on the opposite side, so, you'll have to be very
Water meter
vigilant.
right in front of the property.
Should
I
be
haven't-
unless
I haven't
unless
cut
it's all on the
stuff
one.
down to
I
see.
can't remember if
I
they
think it's
put
right
one-
next to the
did they
stairs.
put
We
one
looked
in
at that.
there?
It would
I'm
almost
not
have to
sure.
be, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure.
It might already be
And
run.
it's set back from the street.
Right.
Yeah.
It may
3 or
already
4
be run. I
feet.
can't
Yeah.
remember if we did
I
that when
think
we
we're
were
not
running
gonna
the
be-
water lines up the street or not. So,
Where are you guys from?
Mark.
Spartanburg, yeah. Yeah, we do a bunch of stuff up there.
Larry,
I guess our biggest thing, we just didn't know what we had to do.
Larry, you got a
I
question?
do. Hey fellas, how big are the units? How many square feet?
What's going on there?
Yeah.
I think they were 800.
And how much do you anticipate them renting for?
Probably easily 1,000, I think.
Total buildings,
It's like 12.
They're 4 by 12, or no,
they're
36 by 12. So 550, 600 or something like that.
Okay, yeah, 550 is a lot less than this. Okay.
Yeah, yeah.
But they are, it does have, it's not a studio.
They're a true one
True
bedroom.
egress.
Yep. With the balcony on the back.
With the 3 levels, it's 63.
You're welcome to look at the plan.
400.
Yeah, if you're gonna leave them around.
We'll get you real quick. All right,
Any
You
other
got-
questions?
yeah.
Any other questions?
Oh,
No, we were just trying to get some answers, so that's why we just wanted to get in here to talk to everybody at one time instead of you know.
It's like we build in
Do we
Morgan
have a phone
County.
number we can get a hold of
County,
you?
where we just had to submit a
You
permit
guys
to the
number,
county.
good deal. We'll
Here it was a
take care
little
of it.
different, like, we didn't want to just
I got
go in, like,
I've got
figure out
those
what we needed
contacts.
to do to get some type of approval, even though there's not a true
Yeah.
approval.
We just need to know, trash wise, whether or not we can do maybe something there where they can back in at an angle
Mhm.
instead of trying to come in this way, number one. And number two, your parking situation, because I don't want to flood that street with a lot of parking because it's already pretty tight up there as it is.
Sure.
Yeah, if you
So-
can assign the folks, you know, you got whatever's assigned to the front and the other folks
Well-
assigned to the back.
Well, that's it. The people out back, I mean, they access their apartment from the back.
Yeah.
You know, so the biggest thing is just getting the road maintenance agreement
Yes.
from you guys, and then we can knock on those
And
doors.
make sure you talk
Take care
to
of
the
that.
water department early on.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the sewer department. I
Right.
mean, we can do a little less water, but we need to have enough sewer to go out. We need to have a pipe to get rid of it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
but
I would say-
ideally, if it was 8 in the back, we're gonna put 8 parking spaces in the back and then 2 in the front with some type of trash, but
Okay.
depending how that works out, we might have to put more in the front to keep people off the street or have visitor type stuff there.
Yeah.
Instead of
Same.
visitors trying to go through the alleyway, I'd
My
rather
main
be on the
concern
street.
is the trash and the parking.
Trash
I
is
think what you're
easy.
doing with putting the building up like that, and that's great, but I'm worried about the parking and the trash. That's my main thing.
Mhm.
You know, how we're gonna be able to get in there and go ahead and do the
Yeah.
trash. And then how we're going to actually be able to do the parking situation, so.
Yeah, trash is easy to come off the front. The
Yeah, I mean,
parking
we-
is talking with the
Right.
residents
Cause
and
they used to
trying
come
to get
down
some
the
type of signed
Right.
agreement to access the back.
Yeah, there's maybe another workable solution where there's a lot right over here. I've got some phone calls into the church that say, so we'll see if there's a couple other solutions.
Yeah, if there's a lot across the street
Like a
or something we can
visitor
pick up, yeah,
parking.
sure, yeah.
But I'll, once I hear back from them, you know, I'll
Okay.
reach out to you on that.
But I guess my last question, basically, if we talk to these people and get an agreement to access the back, there's no other real hurdles if we can get
Not
straight in
really,
the
as long
park.
as we get the parking and we know
Yeah.
exactly what you're
Where it's
doing.
at.
I'd like to know about the parking and the
Yeah.
trash. Like I said, they come down the street this way. So like I said, if we can put an area where they could kind of back
Angle
up.
this way.
Yeah, kind of on an angle that they could back right up to it, jump it, done, finished.
And as long as we can paint, lines on the road, just to let people know not to
Right.
park there, then,
We can,
you know,
we can figure it
Yeah.
out.
Well, the
That's not a
sidewalk
problem.
itself at that point is we have to frame it down, so.
This is not for you guys. Hey, so how does the town tax multifamily places versus single family homes? So what's gonna be the revenue, the tax revenue?
Well, it'll be from the tax department, however they figure it.
class 4.
Yeah.
Class 4, class 4 commercial.
Okay,
If it isn't your residence you're living in, it is class 4.
gotcha.
It's not-
But now for garbage, is it one garbage or is it 8 garbage?
It's for the dumpster
Okay,
and the number of pickups required.
per week.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's to be determined, but yeah.
Yeah, if we can get away with doing one, that would be great, but if we end up getting a bunch of trash sitting out there and it's sitting all around the dumpster,
Right.
then we may have to do
Go
two. However, we may have to put it on like commercial run where we have 3 pickups. We won't know until you actually
Like
get
City of Martinsburg for
Yeah.
one dumpster, one pickup. a week
Yeah,
is one pick.
stuff
But
like,
But that's also why we made them small, right? So you're not gonna
Right.
have,
It's only,
Yeah.
you're gonna have small
One
occupancy in there.
yeah. And then you'll have to figure out how to secure it so nobody comes along and dumps their trash.
Sure.
So, but like I said, I think that's gonna be the best thing for you. I will check on that road back there and see if you can bring cars in, at least park back there. I think I would do the dumpster out front, and then, 3, 4, 5 spaces there, however you can make it work for people parking for like the front apartments and stuff like that. And then, filter the rest in the back or whatever, so. So I think you're on your way. I would
Thank-
check with the
yeah,
water
thank you.
department and the,
About 10, right, it'll be 10 individual water accounts in there.
right,
Yeah, ten water, 10 electric.
so,
Well, I was hoping to, you want to separate all the water? I was thinking it'll just be one big bill there.
yeah,
The
it'll
owner
have to
would
be
be
separate.
Oh, it'll be separate? Okay.
Yeah.
They're each a customer.
Yeah.
interesting. Okay. All right.
They're all individual customers.
That's even better for
And
an
master
investor.
meter, it's, and you don't have to worry about, or whoever's doing your billing,
Nope.
the water bill is separated for each.
That's even better. I was assuming it would just be one. So
Yeah.
I own a lot of big buildings in Cumberland, and it's always one big water bill.
So we'll take care of all that.
Cool.
Now, are you guys gonna be managing as well? Or are you just builders, or not just builders? or-
It depends. I mean,
We're hoping to sell it to somebody,
Okay.
but if not, then we just rebuy it out and keep it ourselves. Yes.
which water department is it here?
Probably
Right
kind of
here.
bad.
Yeah, town of Bath.
Berkeley Springs
Berkeley
water.
Springs.
We'll have,
I'm just trying to figure out. who's
Make
talking
sure that we
for
have
Rick-
fees, stuff
Rick
of
call
that
him.
nature.
we'll have Rick call him.
From the water company.
Yeah, and we'll have our supervisor call so that he'll maybe can meet with you and then you guys can go from there. I think that's
Do you
probably
have
gonna
a
be the
card
easiest
that you
way.
can leave with us that we can pass along?
Unfortunately, I do not.
I've got-
Greg has my
I've got
info,
it.
and I will resend it to him with my
Yep.
email and everything.
Yeah,
Let's do that.
so let's get you hooked up with our water supervisor.
Yeah.
And then if we can get the road maintenance agreement
Yeah,
over,
get the
yep.
road maintenance and then, once that's
We'll take care of
done,
the stuff this week,
I think you're in good shape for the shape you're in.
Water and sewer.
So,
Sure.
okay.
Some places are together.
All right, any other questions from council
Yeah.
to these gentlemen?
Well, let's get these fellas started
Yep.
because if we have another project up there, we don't want them all going on
No.
simultaneously. So,
Exactly,
yeah,
there's
yeah,
three.
so get
I
on it,
wanna be
fellas.
able to
Three
go
what?
down the road
Projects?
Projects.
Yeah, I heard there was some townhouses going up somewhere.
all the way up to the top.
Well, we got some DOH issues that need to be worked out there.
Oh,
but,
okay.
Yeah. But that's, hopefully you'll be done by the time they get started.
Yeah, I don't think it'll take us too awfully long.
Good.
6 months, 5-6 months, really, by the time we start. It's not gonna be
Just
a
be
year.
careful
Won't
when
drag
you're
on.
in there, of course, on that new street,
Right.
do what you can to protect that because that was 30-some years of trying to get that done. So, and I would like not to scar that street up any and keep it in the shape it's in.
No, and again, a lot of it's gonna happen from the back.
Right.
You know what I mean? Yeah.
But I know you're gonna have to be out front somewhat, so
Mhm.
just please, we ask that you just be very careful with the pavement.
100%.
I have a whole
Even if we
album
haven't
of
had it.
pictures of it being paid. Yes. It's like a-
So
So,
we have before and afters is what we're saying.
Hey, I get it, that's fine. That's fine. Don't worry.
Okay.
all right, any other questions?
No, I'll text you my email right now
Yes.
if we can get that email over, and then that'd be wonderful.
Yep.
All right.
All right,
Thanks,
sounds
guys.
good.
Thanks, Luke. Thanks, Wes.
See you guys.
Yep, see you all later.
We'll see you up
Thank
there.
you. Okay. Next order of business is we had a gentleman that came in here and he wants to build a walkway in front of the
Monument.
monument and he wants to use the pavers.
I don't think there's a problem with the pavers. Building a walkway in the front might be a little bit of a problem safety wise, and we need to consult Fox Glove.
DOH is already
Right,
approved.
but Fox Glove maintains that area in the square, and we just need to cover the bases there. I mean, do you really want people walking into it and standing around? in
I
the
was
front?
hoping we'd have something coming
Oh,
from
from the
either
side.
side. No, it's in the
Yeah.
front.
I was thinking.
Right here it is.
Yeah, that's
I
kind of a
understand
dangerous,
the
that's a
back or
dangerous
something.
entry point.
Yeah,
Is
it
it-
is.
It's not a good-
Cars coming
I
down
was hoping they would
Fairfax.
come in from either side, off of either side
Still
of
not.
this.
Good.
No, it isn't. I mean,
Because
there's
you're-
cars coming both ways.
Both ways, are they gonna take out the curb and
Yeah.
make it so it's?
Like a curb cut, at least.
cut?
I don't think that's their intention.
This is not well thought out.
Yeah, we need.
Well, what about the corporation that, or the organization that actually did the memorial? Are
They have nothing to do with it.
Well, they originally had asked Foxglove to plant around it, I thought. Just, yeah, more flowers and stuff. I don't think they had intended. I mean, I know it's a bad spot. It's not a good spot because people are standing there in the street
Tree, when, every time we have
looking
a
at it,
ceremony, yeah.
and
Right.
it's,
Yeah.
it wasn't good to begin.
And there's not enough circumference around the actual monument for you to basically stand next to it unless you're like right up on it. So, I'm curious, I mean, I'm sort of looking at something and like, looks like a picture there of what he has in mind, but, there's just not a lot of, ground to walk with.
Well, let's table this.
Yeah.
Let's table this and talk
About
to
feet.
Foxglove.
the garden club and talk to them and get their feel on it.
And my impression, honestly, from when this Vietnam War veteran, the memorial was built, the town was out of it.
Yeah,
This is totally DOH.
it's all
right
DOH
away.
right away. And
And what we're
DOH,
talking about is DOH property. I don't know why they may bounce it to us.
they said that he had
What
to put
did
it
we
before
have?
the town.
Why?
Yeah, I thought it
What do
said
we
that
do?
DOH
Well,
sent
to
him
do
here.
what?
Yeah,
I don't know.
DOH sent him here for
If
us
this
to
is
talk
just to
to him.
check the box, because they already have DOH approval, our opinions, I'm not sure
I
where
thought
they
you
land.
said we maintain Fairfax now, though. Maybe that's
We
why.
do.
Maybe they think that we took over
We
that
do.
portion of
I think,
Fairfax.
because remember that
did take-
agreement
we
that
did
we
take it
made
on,
to make
but
sure.
This isn't in what maintenance is snow plowing, a brick fell or a
They
paver
gave it
fell
to
off.
us.
and
Yeah, but I don't know
I
if they
know
actually
that
gave us the
it's
green there.
still a
I don't know.
Okay, I think we need to, this needs more thought, and we
Yeah.
need to, kind of button up some of the questions we've got.
Now, if we're tabling this, it has to come up the next meeting, because that's what tabling
How do you all want
is.
to do this? You want to do some
Just bring
research
it- Bring it back
and then
when-
bring it back on the
I would,
agenda?
I would like them to bring it back more complete than just this.
This
Okay.
picture, because I'm not getting that.
Yeah, those dimensions seem off a little bit to me.
Yeah,
Way off.
What did he call that?
12 foot by 32.
no, that's not 12 feet.
Yeah, I was gonna say,
32 feet wide.
yeah.
Yeah, that's not happening. It
Maybe
used to
from
be
curb to
halfway.
curb, 32
We
feet.
also have a fire hydrant there.
We did.
We don't
I
anymore.
don't know if it's still getting in the process of getting fixed.
Yeah, we need to.
Uh,
So let's just request it.
yeah, let's
Come
send it
with-
back to the gentleman and have him come up with a more complete and,
And if he's on the agenda, you won't have to wait.
yeah, who he talked to at DOH.
And what they agreed to,
Right.
what they approved
And
exactly.
we should find out from DOH what our responsibilities are in terms of Fairfax, because if we are now in charge of Fairfax, that's.
Well, that was the agreement because they wanted to put blacktop down and we didn't want blacktop.
Well, she's asking about the green,
The green.
whether we have.
Yeah, if we took over the street, then the green's ours too.
Yeah.
Well, they didn't claim that when the
Memorial.
memorial went in, because we thought, it was our
And they come
responsibility.
back and said it was theirs.
And they looked at it, looked at maps. and all
Well, it
that.
depends on who they talk to.
I guess.
Yeah, we need to get back to DOH.
More
So
information.
let's give this gentleman a call and tell him we need more information. Basically, from who he talked to at the state, maybe a written, Letters.
We can look at it a little closer.
Right.
I'm sure.
Right.
okay.
Talk to Foxglove.
All right, got that done.
All right.
So we'll move forward. Communications from mayor. Appointment, have a committee for employee evaluations. We have some of our supervisors that need to be evaluated for their employee evaluations that, okay. So we were trying to get a committee together that would be able to do Sharon's and who else?
Chiefs.
And the chiefs.
Yes, for one, too.
So would there be somebody that would be willing to go in? I don't know, Greg and I don't know if you'd be
Well,
It
willing.
should be a group, and if it is you two, I'll be the third.
Okay, that's fine.
I'm okay.
You okay with that? To meet with him?
Mhm.
Okay,
So you're appointing yourself and Greg and Mary to be,
right. And,
To do the evaluation for Sharon and the chief.
okay, you good with that or you just want to do?
Yes, no,
Okay,
I can do that.
okay. All right, got that taken care of. They've got a community garden meeting at 2 p.m. on the 26th of this month. And then they're going to have a ribbon cutting ceremony at the farmer's market on the 7th of April. Looks like I get to cut a ribbon. So anyway, we've got on there. All right.
Before we move forward, we do have Matt here.
Okay.
it was originally scheduled to be before council.
You want to bring
Matt
that forward?
Pennington. Sharon, I just,
Yeah, he's usually under Parks and Recs. We were just
Okay, I
going to
didn't
put,
see-
we were
I didn't
actually going
see
to put him at the end because we thought he was going to be late.
I just didn't see.
Yeah, you are.
Okay.
Miracle.
Yeah.
Well, then we'll
Do them under Parks and Rec, because that's two
Yep.
items away.
Okay.
right.
All right.
Well, path development, of course, they got a meeting on the 3rd of April, 4:30 at the courthouse. And then we'll move down to Parks and Recs.
Matt?
And that will be
You
you.
have the floor.
All right. So about a year ago, you appointed me to Park and Rec Board, to represent the town of Bath. One of, I don't even know how many members, but it's a 3 agency board made up of members that are appointed by the Board of Education, the County Commission, and you all. So I'm one of your 2 appointees. The other one, we just filled a seat that had a vacancy in it. They may have been before you recently. So we're glad to have her on board and our the only woman on our board, which I'm really grateful for because we were a little we lacked a little diversity on that board. So now we have a much
Your executive director is a woman, though, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dawn.
Dawn.
right, but she's not a board member. She
No.
was our
But
director.
she
You're
is.
right. But it is nice to have diversity on our board and to speak from different parent types of views for a lot of our programs that we run there. So we are getting our house in order. It's been a little bit of a change to get some people who weren't appearing to agree to resign, and we're filling those positions, which is really good because we're able to collectively put our minds together. We're a working board. I'm sure that you all are very familiar with that concept. Which is good. And unfortunately, this is the first time I've been appeared before you because we haven't had much to report other than what I've just told you is getting our house in order. But we do have our first project and we are excited, and it is in the town park, David Henry Memorial Park, otherwise known as the Visor Street Courts. We'll be getting a facelift. So there'll be, we're coordinating with the contractor. A bid proposal went out in February and we did receive 2 bids. We took the one we felt was most affordable based on qualifications, so it fit our criteria. The project will consist of resurfacing of basketball courts as well as resurfacing the tennis courts, removing the existing tennis nets and replacing them with pickleball nets. Are you all familiar with pickleball? The sport of pickleball?
Yeah, we're old, yeah.
Wonderful. Well, it's one of the fastest growing sports, one of the most fastest growing popularity-wise sports in the country and arguably the world. And you may have seen the new courts over in Hancock that went in recently by the library at Whitmire, and there are always people playing there. So it's a nice addition to a park that, hasn't gotten used much since the new construction at the tennis courts at Warm Springs Intermediate Campus and middle school campus. But right now there'll be 3 courts there that'll be regulatory size pickleball courts and have a full-time dedication to that. So that'll hopefully encourage folks in the community to get out, as well as people who come to town. We can advertise that there are, available pickleball courts to bring your equipment and go ahead and play. And people can, schedule it into their times. It's something that they do when they come to Berkeley Springs and the town of Bath and visit. That's our first project. So update on that. Now I have
Is there a timeline on that, Matt?
to be determined. You have,
Funding?
yes. We're working on that. We do have $25,000 to $30,000 in park and rec funds that we have dedicated to it. So we're hoping that will cover it. So we're still coordinating and negotiating with the contractor on where that.
Who is your contractor?
The contractor is out of Williamsport, and I'm blanking on the name. I should have written that down. I can let you know. And let's see. So we have a request for you. It's actually 2 requests. The contractor needs full-time access to water during the resurfacing project. There is a fire hydrant located at 38 Visor Street, which is the first house south on Visor Street. You go across the front from the park. It's the one that's actually for sale right now, but there's a fire hydrant located on the other side of the road. So it's the fire hydrant's located between the creek and Visor Street. We would request your support in gaining access to that during the construction of the project, and hopefully someone would sponsor that to the water department saying that
We
this
have a
is
meeting tomorrow.
perfect.
It's not on the agenda, but we can informally say that
Under
it
new
needs to be on
business.
the agenda.
All right, would you be
I
willing
will
to
do
bring that
that.
up? Thank you very much. And let us know what we would need to do from Park and Rec as well as from the contractors so they can be aware of how to proceed. That was something they
I
asked
will.
during the bid.
I'll make sure Rick calls you.
Thank you. The second request is, since it is on the opposite side of Pfizer Street, for the park, there would need to be a crossing. This would be a temporary crossing. It might not be anything more than a couple pieces of lumber that act as some sort of speed bump, so the hose or whatever the conveyance system of the clean water to the project is able to do there. I don't know if it would require a full road closure during the construction, but some sort of traffic control device that would allow us to bring the water from the fire hydrant across the street into the parking lot of Pfizer and then run it north to both sets of courts.
You have speed bump type things that are plastic, heavy plastic that you lay
Yeah, I'm
over,
sure Rick
something
has.
like
Yeah,
that.
there's something that we can put there
Okay.
that they can
He'll figure it
still
out.
be able to use the road.
Have you talked to him yet?
I have not. I came here first because I figured I could give you an update on
Yeah,
Parks and Rec
that's
since I haven't been here for 12 months. And I could also update you on the first thing I had to update you on, which is the project. So there are, please let us know. I'm sure there'll be some sort of metering. Please let us know how much that would cost so we can factor it in our budget for the use of the water. Or if you don't, we would greatly appreciate any kind of waiver of those fees. We are trying to get this in as efficiently as possible. So
We'll certainly discuss it.
thank you very much. Is there any questions?
Any questions for Matt?
All right.
All right.
Well, then, if there are none, when these courts are finished, I encourage you all to come out and play pickleball and enjoy. And
Have a
it's
grand
really-
opening, right?
We could certainly entertain
We have
that.
the rescue squad
Another,
there.
You gotta have a ribbon cutting in there.
Right now, let's just get them in and then we'll get you a ribbon. So, all right.
Matt, are you gonna keep, now with the net, just for like with the net, are you just gonna keep those nets up 24/7?
Yes, the new pickleball regulation size, they are
Yeah,
shorter. They will remain in place, fully lined pickleball. There might be other improvements along those that we'll come back to at a time. It could be some sort of pavilion or awning, but
Yeah,
we're
right.
working on cleaning that park up. It is an asset that we want to keep going.
Yeah, sure.
The other town park that you probably are interested in is North End Park. Working on North Berkeley, thank you. I mean, security is an issue, constantly looking at
Yeah.
ways to monitor those situations with different types of security cameras, deer cameras that trigger. We've
So
looked
you
at,
are looking at security cameras for that yourselves right now?
Now,
Yeah.
I thought they already had security.
I put some on the Board of Education.
They were
Okay.
supposed to. They
Yeah.
were supposed to. I don't know if they
that's a good
did.
question. We have a meeting tomorrow.
Okay.
I will ask and get an update on that.
Because
But
that was a lot of discussion week after week about problems in the park.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
and I thought that
I
had been
believe Parks
settled.
and Rec or Board of Education, one of the two agreed. I
To-
bought
to
the
like-
cameras.
Yeah, that's what I thought too, so. I
I'll
don't
get an
know, but
update on it.
still,
Okay.
you're gonna need something else because it's still kind of far out.
Right,
Yeah.
right. So,
So, yep.
all
All
right.
right.
Thank you.
Well,
Good
that's
seeing
good.
you all.
We'll see what we can do tomorrow and we'll go from
If
there.
I may, while Matt's here, I would like to publicly thank him for his work at the depot,
Oh,
helping
yes.
with
Absolutely.
the stormwater management control.
Yes.
And
You're welcome.
Absolutely
great.
appreciate it.
Happy to help and thank you. It was
Yeah,
great working with you on
shovel
the
in
project.
his hand and everything, he was on it.
You gotta do what you gotta do.
He's young, man, he's young.
Push the cameras around, that's all.
All right. Thank you, Rebecca, for that, and it's good seeing you
Yeah,
all. Have a
thank
wonderful
you.
night.
Thank you,
Thank
Matt.
See you guys.
Okay. All right,
Very good.
okay, let's move forward then. Planning Commission,
So we had our monthly meeting last week. We focused on the long-range plan that gets us to publishing the 2027 to 2037 comprehensive plan. So, laying out how much time we're gonna do that. Not for this year, but next year, how much it's gonna cost for publishing, editing, that kind of stuff. So really nugget into that and we'll continue to put more detail on it. If you notice on there, our next meeting is in May. We're not having a monthly meeting in April. Any questions?
any questions?
Thank you.
Nope, thank you. Thank you for taking the Planning Commission on and running with it.
Now, Larry, have you ever interacted with the county and their long-term planning?
We have, as a matter of fact, they have a comprehensive plan. We're about 4 years off.
Yeah.
So, which is
All that.
kind of cool, because I refer to theirs, and that's actually one of the big themes, as we were talking about just last week. There's a lot of areas we need to align much better than we reflected in the last plan. I'm not saying it wasn't happening, but the plan should show where there is those complementary things, or in a lot of cases, hey, we don't do much, but we're really relying on the county, and we want to make sure that what they're doing addresses our requirements as well.
Are you referring to their 2017 plan?
No, they had an update as well.
They did, okay.
Yep. And then they have a lot of formal plans in a lot of areas too.
And
That we don't, when it comes to like water and stormwater and EMS, they're getting ready, I think, to publish their updated EMS plan. It's not necessarily, their planning does, a lot of much more residential planning and those kind of things. It's not necessarily the strategic planning, if you want to call it that.
Their plan, when I was reading through their
Yeah.
plan, there is a pretty significant emphasis on the town of Bath
It is.
within their plan. And then I went back to that 2017 plan and I'm looking, all right, well, here's the 2017 plan, but I'm not seeing a whole lot of what was in that 2017 plan brought forward into some, into a tangible assets, within the town of Bath.
Like I said, so we identified that as a gap we need to tighten up for the next one.
They were invited to participate in the planning, and there was,
Did a couple times.
we
Is that what you-
had invited them, yeah.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Because you can have one of their planners or members on your board
Yeah.
as an advisor.
Any more questions?
Now, I would just like to see more follow through from the county's perspective. When I'm reading through that very comprehensive plan that the county did, and looking about the way they prioritize the town of Bath and a lot of things inside the town of Bath, I just didn't see any follow through or action taken. That's all. So I just think that's just a meeting that needs to happen.
Okay. All right, we'll move on down to rails and trails.
Pete's got his monthly report in your binder. We're still waiting on the bid. That'll be May 7th. So far, we haven't heard any hitches in that. We hope it goes forward. And we've got a pretty short timeline. We haven't heard back from DEP other than we know that they received our certified letter for the violation in the park. We have all of our ducks in a row. We have a timeline. We have Pete's thorough planning.
Thank goodness.
So as soon as we hear, we'll let all the council know and where the meeting is going to be and what actions will be needed. Other than that, we are planning the Arbor Day tree planting with Warm Springs Watershed Association and Bath Tree Board. That'll be April 27th at the depot. We're hoping to have maybe some educational information. Our Vista that's working with Warm Springs Watershed is helping plan maybe bringing some other environmental groups in so that we can have a real celebration. And we'll be hearing more about that. We don't have that set yet, but it'll probably be around 10 o'clock, I'm thinking.
We have the depot open and.
Yeah, we're gonna have the depot open, so hopefully we'll have have some fun. Maybe some food, beer tokens, I don't know.
Okay, well, streetscapes, you have anything on it by any chance?
No,
Okay, it's in our packet, so I'll let council read it and go from there, so. All right, let's move on to the train depot.
Okay, we have a meeting Thursday, March the 21st at 4 p.m. I encourage anyone who's interested in the depot and its progress to come. I've been working with a couple members of the group, Mark Garfinkel and Jim Bailey, going over insurances, waivers, a facility form specific to the depot, because as we all know, it's a special asset of the town that can't be treated like, parking meters closed down or a street for a food truck festival or things like that. So working on that, I've contacted the fire marshal to find out what for an inspection, for them to come and look at the building as far as occupancy. We're talking to entertainment about shows in there, and that's why we want to look at occupancy and things like that. And looking at funding mechanisms with having events in there, entertainment, and like that. So we do meet, we'll talk about all these things a little more in depth Thursday, the 21st, so please come if you can.
All right. Moving on to Landmarks Commission. All right, moving on to Clerk and Recorder's report. Madam Clerk, do you have anything?
No.
Okay. Madam Recorder, do you have anything?
Not especially the full recorder.
Okay. All right, then we'll move on down to Finance. Pay some bills.
Yeah, well, first I want to say that this committee and many members of council have been heavily involved in the past couple weeks in meetings for the budget, the fiscal year 2025. And I want to let everyone know that how much I appreciate their dedication and showing up and their knowledge and expertise, and I do appreciate it. This is a difficult project. It's always hard to work out the budget. At this point in our town's fiscal abilities, things are especially difficult. As you all know, when you go to the store, things are higher. When we buy anything, as the town, it's higher also. So there's some difficult decisions, being made, and some considerations with all consideration to the folks of the town of Bath and property owners. And we're moving forward. We're going to make this a successful budget and do everything we can to show the people of the town of Bath and businesses the fruits of our labors in their behalf. And so we're working hard on it, and we're going to have it in on time or before, which is March the 28th, to see if the state has anything to say about it. So then we'll wait for the state approval and move forward with the process into April. Okay? The bills, yes. Okay. Make a motion that we pay the town of Bath bills in the amount of $19,299.61.
Second.
I have a motion and a second on the floor to pay the town of Bath bills in the amount of $19,299.61. Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? That motion carries.
Make a motion that we pay the Berkeley Springs Waterworks bills in the amount of $41,014.44.
Second.
I have a motion and a second on the floor to pay the Berkeley Springs water bills in the amount of $41,014.44. Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Kind of a weak eye.
Yeah, that was a weak
Yeah.
Opposed? Okay, didn't hear any. Motion carries.
Okay.
All right.
I'll make a motion we pay the North Berkeley Rail Trail bills in the amount of $977.
Second.
I have a motion and a second on the floor to pay the North Berkeley Rail Trail bills in the amount of $977 even. Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Much
Good eye
better.
there.
We got a good eye. Sounds like baseball game, good eye.
Yeah.
I make a motion that we pay the Berkeley Springs Waterworks repair and replacement bills in the amount of $94,335.
Second.
I have a motion and a second on the floor to pay the Berkeley Springs Waterworks repair and replace bills in the amount of $94,335 even. Any discussion?
I just think it's important to note that number, the reason that it seems higher at this time was due to a software upgrade for the Waterworks company.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a one-time upgrade, and that was the annual.
And it's a have-to thing.
Yes,
To-
it was required, and our old system was out of date.
Yes.
Okay. Any more discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? That motion carries.
Yeah.
All right, we got it all done.
You heard that?
Yeah. Yep. I don't know if he's on there or not. Tom, you there?
I am.
Okay. Just wanted to make sure. Thought maybe you were asleep.
No.
We
I
didn't
just
hear
got
it.
my breath taken away with the 94.
Oh.
Oh, yeah, me too, Tom.
It was a shock.
You're welcome.
We're good. All right, tree board.
Nothing to report.
Grant.
Thanks, Scott.
Yes.
Our next meeting is on April 8th at 4:30. By way of updates, we have a couple of grants in the hopper. And the next thing I'm going to be working on with the West Virginia Grant Resources Center grant writing team is public safety money. A couple things, there's COPS grant and JAG grant. Their funding cycle opens in May, so we are looking at both of those and planning to make submissions.
Okay. Any questions? All right, let's move on down to public safety. Chief, do you have anything?
Yes, sir.
Okay. All right. Our next meeting is going to be April the 10th at 4 p.m. And we're getting ready to implement. When are we going to implement? Do we have a solid date on the Park Mobile?
We do not at this
We
point.
don't have, okay. That history will be coming so that we can get it out in the public and do a campaign. So, okay, that's all I have. All right, cemetery.
We placed an ad in the Morgan Messenger and the Hancock News. It's actually going to be in the papers tomorrow and the Morgan Messenger in order to advertise for mowing service for Greenway Cemetery this summer. We're also posting more detailed information than the ad on Tom's website. So if anyone has contact with anyone that could be interested in the job, please refer to the website, or you can always contact me too. This is when the time I start reminding everyone that Make It Shine is April 6th from 9 to 12 in Greenway Cemetery and throughout the town of Bath. I hope the town council will participate. I actually need someone to be at town hall on April 6th at 9 o'clock, maybe for an hour and a half to pass out supplies here for people that are not coming to Greenway but are going to be working throughout the town of Bath. So if one of you could volunteer, I'd appreciate that. Or if you know of someone else that would be willing to sit here for an hour or so and pass out supplies and have volunteers sign waivers when they pick up their bags and clothes, I'd appreciate that. I will be in Greenway, so think about that. And the third thing I have is our next cemetery meeting is next Tuesday, the 26th. Sean Forney will be present for the first part of the meeting. He wants to talk about some ideas that he has related to Greenway Cemetery. And the second half of the meeting, Pete Braun will be present to help us get set to start our mausoleum project again now that spring is around the corner. And that's all I have.
Okay. All right. Thank you, Beth.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Public Works.
Nothing to report.
Ordinance.
Ordinance, just much like my colleague Susan Webster was talking about our finances. And as we examine all of our expenses, as well as our revenue, there are things that were well past due for being updated, including in that for our solid waste, as well as our police fee and our street fee. So tonight we have the first reading of Town of Bath Ordinance 2024-0210, amending in part Town of Bath Municipal Code, Chapter 62, Solid Waste, Article 2, Refuse Collection Disposal, Section 62-28, Rate Schedule. The new solid waste rate schedule is effective July 1 of 2024. To ensure that refuge collection service provided by the Town of Bath is self-supporting, and that's very important that we want to get to that point, there is hereby established and levied the following scheduled fees, rates, and charges. Rate 1, residential service of 1 pickup weekly is $48. Rate 2 is our first commercial service rate, 1 pickup weekly, $80. Rate 3, commercial service, 2 pickups weekly, $160. Rate 4, commercial service, 3 pickups weekly, $240. Commercial service rate 5, 4-yard dumpster, 1 pickup weekly, $540. Rate 6, commercial service, 2 pickup weekly, 4-yard dumpster, $1,080. Rate 7, commercial service, 3 pickups weekly, 4-yard dumpster, $1,620. Rate 8, 1 pickup weekly on a 6-yard dumpster, $630. Rate 9, commercial service, 2 pickup weekly on a 6-yard dumpster, it's now $1,260. And rate 10, commercial service, 3 pickups weekly on a 6-yard dumpster, $1,890. Any customer continuously exceeding their current rate charge will be reassessed at the discretion of the Refuse Collection Department. All businesses that generate food waste are required to have a minimum of 2 pickups weekly. Special pickup, a special pickup fee of $125 per truckload is to be scheduled and paid for in advance of said pickup. The term special pickup means refuse outside the limits of regular collection and shall include items such as furniture, appliances, small construction materials, etc., and shall be at the discretion of the Refuge Collection Department. Conflicting ordinances, all other ordinances and parts of ordinance or amendments thereto of the Town of Bath in conflict with the provisions of this ordinance are hereby repealed. Review by council, all fees are subject to review and change as determined by the Town of Bath Town Council. That completes the first reading.
Okay, we have the first reading of the Town of Bath Ordinance 2024-02-010. I would, if anybody is so moved, I need a motion and a second to start this process. So
I make a motion that we amend the refuse collection fees in accordance with the reading that was just made.
Second.
okay, I have a motion and a second on the floor for Town of Bath Ordinance 2024-02-10. Do we have any discussion?
Greg, I just
Yes.
wanted you to clarify those rates that you just read off. They are, because we can see it on the paper, but they are quarterly
That is
assessments,
correct. That
not
is correct.
monthly.
Yeah, that is correct.
They are quarterly
Yes,
assessments.
thank you.
Okay, any more discussion?
I'd like to say that this is a very modest increase in garbage rates. It's been a long time since.
It has
they
been,
have been
it's been 20 years approximately
raised.
since the last increase.
It's been incredible, the amount that things have changed in terms of fuel and maintenance. So it's much needed for the town.
And tipping
Dumping
fees.
fees.
Tipping fees have gone crazy. So people in this community have to realize what our tipping fees are for a trash truck picking up trash and waste and everything. So, anyway, I will call the question. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? That motion carries for the first reading. We will bring it forward to next meeting for the second reading, and it will become law.
Thank you.
All right.
In conjunction with the reading regarding to waste schedule are the associated fees of public safety and street fee, which also have not been updated in a considerable amount of time. This is first reading of Town of Bath Ordinance 2024-02-11, amending in part and adding to Town of Bath Municipal Code, Chapter 74, Taxation and Revenue, Section 74-1, Public Safety Fee, Section 74-2, Street Fee, and these are also quarterly fees. Public safety fee, as any residential property owner lessee, including but not limited to residential lots, acreage, and undeveloped property, located within the town limits shall be required to pay $15 per quarter as assessed in section 62-27 of the Town of Bath solid waste rate schedule to cover a public safety fee. This revenue shall be applied to the Town of Bath Law Enforcement Department. Any commercial property owner, lessee, including but not limited to residential lots, acreage, and undeveloped property located within town limits, but not limit shall be required to pay $40 per quarter as assessed in section 62-27 of the Town of Bath solid waste rate schedule to cover a public safety fee. This revenue shall be applied to the Town of Bath Law Enforcement Department. Street fee. Any residential property owner, lessee, including but not limited to residential lots, acreage, and undeveloped property located within town limits is required to pay $15 per quarter as assessed in section 62-27 of the Town of Bath solid waste rate schedule to cover a street fee. This revenue shall be applied to Town of Bath street maintenance, paving, repair, cleaning projects, and snow removal. Any commercial property owner / lessee, including but not limited to residential lots, acreage, and undeveloped property within town limits shall be required to pay $40 per quarter as assessed in section 62-27 of the Town of Bath solid waste rate schedule to cover a street fee. This revenue shall be applied to Town of Bath street maintenance, paving, repair, cleaning projects, and snow removal. Conflicting ordinances. All other ordinance and parts of ordinance or amended thereto of the Town of Bath in conflict with the provisions of this ordinance are hereby repealed. Reviewed by council. All fees are subject to review and change as determined by the Town of Bath Town Council. And that completes first reading.
Okay, we have the first reading of our ordinance 2024-02-10. 11, I'm sorry, I'm reading the top, I'm sorry. So do we have any discussion? Yes, sir.
And this goes for the prior one too. Is there any way you can put language in there that says that just by a simple town council vote, you can increase that rate like 2 or 3% each year? And it doesn't have to be, I mean, you can vote no because the expenses are still the same, but it would remedy have to rewrite the ordinances.
I don't know if we can do that.
I don't know, we can look at it, but I don't know. Let them get over this.
Okay.
Yeah. We can always amend it if we have to, so.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you, Charlie.
Any more discussion? All right, I'll call the question. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? That motion carries.
Who made, let's see, who seconded that?
I think that,
Did we make a separate motion for this one? Because if we didn't, I'm happy to do that.
Yeah.
No, I
but
did.
we
we had a
need
motion
to
on the
make-
table and discussion.
All right.
Okay. All right, so they've both been passed for the first reading.
Mhm.
Is there anything that needs to be tweaked by the second one? We'll have it and read it if we change anything.
A couple of weeks there.
Okay. All right, anything else, Mr. Ordinance Committee?
There's plenty, but I think we'll leave it at that.
Okay, we'll leave it at that tonight. All right, well, let's move to Waterworks. Tom, you're up.
I'm here.
Okay.
I would like to start tonight by bringing the motion forward that the Town of Bath, the Berkeley Springs Waterworks, partner with the Warm Springs Public Service District and the Morgan County Commission in moving forward with our US 522 South Water Project.
Okay, we have a motion on the floor. Do I have a second?
Second.
All right, we have a motion and a second on the floor to partner with the Berkeley Springs PSD and the Morgan County Commissioners in the project on 522 water line extension. Do I have any discussion?
Yes, you do.
Okay, discuss away.
So I have a couple of reservations about moving forward with this project. I don't want to stand in the way of the eventual growth that we know is coming to this county and the growth that will be precipitated by this water extension. What I am concerned about is the very precious water resource that we currently have and the finite limits to that water resource, which currently everyone thinks are infinite, but when you have enough people drawing on that resource, not so much. So I do think it's important to keep top of mind in these discussions and in our participation in this, the consideration, exploration, and commitment to finding a second water source to supplement what will come off this extension. I think that is really, really important. And the finances of it are a little scary for me too, given the small size of the town of Bath and our water department. I will be a reluctant yes for this, but I do think that these concerns do need to be discussed and mitigated through the course of our participation.
Yes, well said, well said. I think that's for everybody on the council. We hope that this project moves forward, but we're rather reluctant because we're not sure of the finances, they're there. And we are not sure of whether we can find a secondary water source. And we do not want, of course, our water department to be stretching its resources of our wonderful Berkeley Springs, water that we provide, which is pristine water coming out of the ground. So worry every day about, that spring still springing. So, I think I'm in the same boat as I think everybody sitting on this council is, but, so anyway.
I'd like to,
Yes.
Mr. Mayor? Is there a understanding that the bids taken for this project were 24 months ago, thereabouts? Since then, we've seen between a 10 and a 30% increase in prices. There's every person that's with us tonight has been to the grocery store and seen what's happened on the prices of our food. What type of prices do we have now with regards to that project? And at that current balance, does that have any ability to reach into the increased cost for the materials before the shovels hit the ground?
The commissioners did address that question, Tom. And surprisingly, they were very confident, thinking that those costs or those project estimates would hold with just a minimal increase. I tend to disagree with that philosophy, but when the question was asked as far as who would cover any of those additions, we were told and guaranteed essentially that would be picked up and that the dollars were available in the event that there was a increase beyond that 2.7. So you could easily have a $3 million project, and the commission assured us that they did have the dollars available without burdening the town.
And I think with that, if it gets to that point where we're over, we hand the bills to the county commissioner and we say, this is your baby to take care of. They've assured us that they got the money, and go from there. And, I hope they're right and they don't think these prices are going to go up, but I think they're going to have a rude awakening.
Yeah,
I think they're going to have a rude awakening when this thing goes out for bid, when they start looking at pipe, fittings, and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, and it's also impactful, Tom, on the change orders, overages, and we were also told that the commission, they will be responsible for overages and change orders as well. So they're promising to deliver that project to us at zero expense to the town of Bath.
This water extension is an important for a lot of the businesses out 522. A lot of us live here because of the water, how precious the water is. And we want to make that available to the public and the people as much as possible. But we do know that we're at the start of a growth cycle for the county, and there's going to be more expansions along 522. This project was started by the previous council We didn't have as much information as we felt necessary to feel as comfortable about this. If we do any more extensions, I think we'll be doing them differently, and we'll be a lot more comfortable with
Right.
what that happens. We have been assured that we do have adequate water supplies to cover this. There will be a new water tank going in, and we will be able to pump a longer period of time. So we'll see how that goes, but we all will be watching very carefully.
Well said, Rebecca. And I think the thing that's beginning to go forgotten in this entire process as we focus on the extension is the fact we still have to deal with the bypass and the development that the bypass brings, which is an unknown as well. So all good and valid points.
The other thing I would throw out to the council, I think if there's any change orders that come in, it not only probably needs our signature, but we need county commissioner's signature on it.
Good point. That's
Honestly, that way they are aware that there is going to be an overreach and they need to come up with the money. I think, you know,
They have pledged they will do that.
I know,
Yeah.
but pledges.
It's a non-starter because we don't
pledges-
have the money.
Right.
We just don't have it.
Pledges are
Yeah.
different than a signature saying, we're going to take care of this.
Right.
So I think, you know, if there's change orders that come in before it's handled here, it needs to go before the county commissioners. It needs to have their signature on it before I or anybody else, I think, would sign on the line. I just feel that way, you know, so that we don't end up at the end of the project and find out we owe money that we do not have at the present time. So anyway, I've spoke my piece. Larry?
Besides the, you know, it's well known, you know, that the second source is a big deal. That's not in the works. And we know we're going to be pushing a lot more water. Does this require any upgrades to our current system?
I believe they're going to be installing higher velocity pumps to push that water out 522.
And who's paying for that?
Which we have.
We have the pumps.
Okay.
Yeah, we have the pumps. Yeah. Yeah, they just have to be installed. That's all.
It's more of
So-
and that's a good point, Larry. It's more of a capacity issue.
Right.
We're
Yeah.
running 19 hours a day and we have to move forward. Or as, correct me if I'm wrong, Tom and Rebecca on this, but as we approach that 65% point on capacity, at that point in time, we're required to take action at that point in time.
That's correct. That is correct.
So,
And we just don't know. We don't know what we're getting with the bypass or what we're going to get. Are we going to get 150 townhomes? I mean, who knows? Are we going to get a hotel? You just don't know what's going to come at this point. It's still very early
wish
in
I
the
had that
process.
crystal ball that we could look into, but we don't have it. So anyway, is there any more discussion? Any more? If not, I'll call the question. All those in favor? Opposed?
No,
Okay. We have one no. Everybody else? Okay. We need to do our due diligence in this and stay on top of it.
Absolutely.
I think we've got a good team here that will be watching the numbers coming in. And we'll hold the county commissioners' feet to the fire. I mean, you know, they said that they would take care of overages and everything else. So let's, you know, they said they're going to give us this project. So let's make sure it's no cost to the town. All right. Enough said. All right.
The attorney.
Tom, do you have anything else, sir?
Well, I do. The water department is going to, we're going to evaluate employees on the 26th. We have 3 employees that we will be evaluating. And of course, the water department has hired 2 new people moving forward, one an office assistant and another OIT person for plant operations. We were going to move forward with the security cameras at the plant, and somehow that process got stopped. And I would like to move forward again with the security cameras at our plant and have that taken care of, and have that dark spot taken care of with regards to the plant. Additionally, we are going to need to move approximately 200 gallons of expired chemicals that are stored behind the plant at this time. Mr. Mayhew has made a few calls with regard to their disposal. It's not going to be inexpensive to get rid of these. They should have been gotten rid of years ago, to be honest.
Okay, all right, well, we'll get it taken care of.
Other than that, I think that's where we are with the water department this time.
Okay, all right. All right,
Thanks,
well,
Tom.
we still have to select an attorney for, the project, so,
Project work. The
um,
finance committee did consider the proposals of the attorneys and of their firms who did submit proposals, and the finance committee would like to recommend for the Public Service Commission work, we would like to recommend Steptoe and Johnson at an amount of $5,000 to do the work for the public, for the 522 extension. I make a motion that we accept Steptoe and Johnson's proposal.
Second.
I have a motion and a second on the floor, to accept, Steptoe and Johnson's proposal for the, attorney on the water line extension. Is there any discussion? The only discussion I would put in there is this bill supposedly will be paid by is it gonna be paid by the
County.
county? Okay, let's make sure, once we sign on the dotted line, I would say we need to have a county commissioner also sign. That way we've got it in writing that, it's being paid through the project. I don't know if we can add, if you want to add that to your motion. If not, I'm just putting it out to council that, I think we need, signatures on everything. And go from there. No? We
No,
can't do
it's
that?
because Region 9 is administering
Okay,
the
so
plan
it's Region
for us.
9.
It's not a, yeah.
Okay, all right, well then scratch that. So anyway, any more discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
We also have a
Motion
second,
carries.
yeah.
Carries.
second part of legal needs in this, and this was for the right-of-ways for the project, for the 522 extension project. And the Finance Committee recommends to council that we choose Trump and Trump at an amount of $10,000 for right-of-way work. I make that motion.
Second.
I have a second and a motion on the floor to hire Trump and Trump to do the right-of-way work on the 522 extension water line. Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? And motion carries. All right. Anything else that needs to come before council with the council members? If not, I will open the floor. Any, Larry or Charlie, do you? Okay. All right, then I would take a common consent for adjournment.
John.
Adjournment.